Terrence Howard, the renowned Oscar-nominated actor, recently shared shocking details about his interactions with music mogul Diddy, claiming that he was targeted by Diddy and other influential members of the so-called gay mafia in Hollywood. According to Howard,
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
Howard felt the situation grow increasingly uncomfortable when Diddy asked him to play some of his music, but again, the conversation led nowhere. Howard was still unsure about what Diddy was truly after until his assistant made a revealing statement that changed everything. According to Howard, his assistant whispered to him,
You got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far, Who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head, But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the Puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card.
Howard shared that once an actor participates in such acts, they are forever changed. He explained that participating in these acts doesn't just affect one's career, it destroys their sense of self-worth and integrity. He expressed how, in many cases, those who gave in to these demands ended up turning to drugs and other unhealthy coping mechanisms to escape the emotional and psychological toll of their experiences.
You see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did. No matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, They get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Howard mentioned how some of the industry's most famous figures, including those who have achieved immense success, can still struggle with the toll of giving up their values in exchange for fame. He shared that people like Justin Bieber, for example, may act out or seem lost because of what they've experienced, and in many cases, it's a direct result of being forced into situations that went against their core values. Howard's insights didn't stop at discussing the emotional and psychological consequences of compromising one's integrity. He also took the time to reflect on his own personal achievements, including his contributions to the world of technology. Howard revealed that he has over 97 patents credited to his name, some of which are being used by major companies like Microsoft, HP, and Apple. These patents, which have been responsible for generating billions of dollars, have yet to bring him any financial rewards. Howard explained that he has not seen a penny from his inventions, primarily because he refused to bend to the demands of the Hollywood system. Despite his inventions contributing to the success of these companies, Howard has been excluded from the financial rewards because of his unwillingness to compromise his values. In one of the more striking moments of the interview, Howard shared that his patents have earned over $7 trillion, but he has never received any financial compensation. He explained how the major companies, including Microsoft, Amazon, and IBM, have profited significantly from his work, yet he has never seen any of the money. He attributed this to his refusal to give in to the pressures of the industry and his choice to not compromise his integrity. Howard's refusal to bend, despite the massive success of his patents, underscores his deep commitment to maintaining his dignity and self-respect, even if it meant losing out financially. The discussion of Howard's patents and his technological contributions served as a powerful contrast to the dark realities of Hollywood that he had previously described. Despite the industry's attempts to silence him, Howard's intellectual property continues to thrive, proving that success can still be achieved without compromising one's morals or integrity. Howard also discussed the broader impact of Hollywood's exploitative practices, noting that many individuals in the industry are forced to make choices they later regret. He pointed out that the price of fame often involves giving up one's dignity and compromising personal values, which can lead to a lifetime of emotional turmoil. Howard's comments offer a sobering reflection on the cost of success in the entertainment industry and the toll it can take on individuals who are caught in its web. As Howard continued his interview, he became increasingly passionate about the need for young actors to stand up for their integrity. He urged them to avoid making the same mistakes that many others in the industry have made by standing firm in their values and refusing to be exploited. Howard's words were a reminder that, in an industry built on power and influence, staying true to oneself is the most important thing an actor can do. Howard also highlighted how the prevalence of drugs and substance abuse in Hollywood is directly tied to the emotional and psychological toll of compromising one's integrity. He shared that the industry creates an environment where people are encouraged to disregard their personal values in order to climb the ladder of success. This toxic environment, Howard argues, leads many to turn to drugs, alcohol, and other coping mechanisms as a way to deal with the psychological damage caused by these compromises. Throughout the interview, Howard was candid about the personal struggles he has faced and the difficult choices he has made throughout his career. He discussed how, despite the obstacles he has encountered, he has always remained true to his values, refusing to compromise his integrity for fame or success. His commitment to staying true to himself serves as a powerful example to others in the industry, showing that it is possible to succeed without sacrificing one's dignity. In conclusion, Terrence Howard's revelations offer a stark reminder of the dark side of Hollywood. His story serves as a cautionary tale for anyone looking to make it in the entertainment industry, showing that the price of fame may be higher than many are willing to pay. Howard's unwavering commitment to his integrity and his refusal to compromise his values, even in the face of great adversity, sets him apart from others who have been caught up in the industry's exploitative practices. As more names and stories come to light, it is clear that the fight for integrity in Hollywood is far from over, and it will take courage and strength for those who have been wronged to stand up and speak out. With the ongoing legal battles surrounding Diddy and other powerful figures in the industry, it is becoming increasingly clear that the truth is finally coming to light. Howard's story is just one piece of the puzzle, but it is a powerful one that shines a light on the exploitation and abuse that has plagued Hollywood for decades. As more survivors come forward, it is hopeful that justice will eventually be served and those responsible for these heinous acts will be held accountable.